Hello and welcome to my presentation. My name is Cassandra Vanden Heuvel, and today we will be discussing human rights legislation as it pertains to discrimination in the workplace on the basis of sexual harassment. We will be reviewing the case of Sarah Sanford versus Dr. Jerry Koop. During this presentation, we will discuss three major topics: the case facts, applicable legislation, and then finally analysis, decision, and reasoning. The first topic is case facts. Here we'll look at a detailed overview of the situation and then the summary of the facts at play. The two key players in this situation are Sarah Sanford and Dr. Jerry Koop, both employees of the same organization. Sarah, the applicant, Dr. Koop, the respondent. In 2000, Sarah Sanford began her employment with a technology firm that specializes in healthcare. She started in the marketing and sales department. During her time with the organization, she was promoted to a senior marketing specialist. Her colleague, Dr. Koop, began his employment there 1 year after Ms. Sanford was hired. Dr. Koop was appointed the head of research and development. He was demoted a year later. However, he continued to hold a managerial position at the company, which was similar to that of Sanford's. Over the span of approximately 2 years, Ms. Sanford endured ongoing sexual harassment and gender discrimination in the workplace by Dr. Koop. The sexual harassment and gender discrimination started by Dr. Koop making inappropriate sexual comments and suggestions directly to Ms. Sanford. The behavior then escalated in 2003 when Dr. Koop's office was moved adjacent to Ms. Sanford. The sexual harassment continued over the next few months. The evidence presented in the case demonstrated that his actions became visibly targeted and more aggressive, including both physical and verbal sexual advances. Ms. Sanford made multiple attempts to express to Dr. Koop that his actions were unwelcome and offensive. Made numerous attempts in asking him to stop and expressed her discomfort with the encounters. But Dr. Koop's actions persisted. She then enlisted the help of her colleagues, who also explained to him that his behavior was inappropriate. But Dr. Koop's conduct worsened. She then sought the advice of the Human Resources Department and filed a formal complaint to the police. Dr. Koop's behavior had a detrimental impact on Ms. Sanford's life, both inside and outside of the workplace. As cited in the case, he made her feel ashamed, vulnerable, frightened, and disgusted, which also led her to experience stress-related symptoms, including anxiety, nervousness, panic attacks, sleeplessness, loss of appetite, and nausea. Ms. Sanford sought treatment from multiple health practitioners, including her family physician, a psychologist, and a psychiatrist. She provided medical reports from her physicians as evidence, including her psychiatrist, Dr. Powell, who she saw over 60 times in a 15-month period. Given the circumstances, Ms. Sanford made the decision to resign from her job, as stated in the case. She enjoyed it and she was successful in. As a result of the resignation, Ms. Sanford suffered serious financial difficulties, which forced her to move to a less expensive apartment. Here we will discuss the applicable legislation that pertains to the case. The complaint was filed under the Human Rights Code, alleging discrimination and harassment in employment on the basis of sex, violating Sections 5.1, 7.2, and 9. Section 5.1 of the Human Rights Code states that every person has a right to equal treatment with respect to employment without discrimination because of race, ancestry, place of origin, color, ethnic origin, citizenship, creed, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, age, record of offenses, marital status, family status, or disability. Section 7.2 of the Human Rights Code states that every person who is an employee has a right to freedom from harassment in the workplace because of sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, or gender expression by his or her employer or agent of the employer or by another employee. Section 9 states that no person can infringe or do, directly or indirectly, anything that infringes a right. These three parts of the code form the statutory basis as to why the code was violated by Dr. Jerry Koop. Our final topic of discussion is analysis, decision, and reasoning. Here, we will go over the outcome and rationale of the finding. The three sections of the Human Rights Code 5, 7.1, and 9 were breached. Section 5, because Sanford was not treated equally in her workplace and she was discriminated against. Section 7.1, because Sanford's freedom from harassment was breached by Dr. Koop. And Section 9, Dr. Koop personally infringed on Sanford's rights. After examining the evidence, the tribunal found that Dr. Koop had violated Ms. Sanford's rights under the Human Rights Code. The tribunal indicated that his conduct was unwelcoming and wrong, constituting gender discrimination and sexual harassment in violation of Sections 5.1, 7.2, and 9 of the Code. Furthermore, the tribunal found that Ms. Sanford's departure from the organization was not voluntary, as she felt there were no other options for her to escape Dr. Koop's incessant behavior. As a result, the tribunal found that Ms. Sanford suffered loss in multiple forms, including financially, physically, and psychologically. Ms. Sanford suffered on multiple accounts. The tribunal ultimately awarded Ms. Sanford for general damages, financial damages, but most importantly, the damages for mental anguish. This included humiliation experienced, hurt feelings, her loss of dignity, loss of self-esteem, loss of confidence, the experience of victimization, the vulnerability she experienced, and then taking a look at the seriousness, frequency, and duration of the offensive treatment. The tribunal then ordered Dr. Koop to attend a human rights training program within 2 months of the order, specializing specifically on sexual discrimination in the workplace. Thank you for taking the time to watch my human rights presentation on the case of Sanford versus Koop.